Hey, welcome back to the C Morning Show, and it's time for some C Today Business Talk. As a parents, it's never too soon to begin thinking about how to prepare our children for a potential inheritance. It's a challenging topic for people to address for several reasons, not least of which is that it requires us to acknowledge and discuss our own mortality.
Yes, let's talk about death. I'm sorry, what a way to ruin your morning, right? No, but it is also very important, right? I mean, it's like we gotta think about the future, and we actually don't know whether we will live up to our 80s or, knock on wood, is shorter than that. But you know, we need to think about this. And we're not going to be talking only about couples who have children, right? But also couples who probably don't have children. And how can they manage their asset so that they can create inheritance that they can give to, I don't know, to a relative or to a cause or or a philanthropic cause and all that. So let's talk about this. You better listen. And that's why we have Dani Rachmat as always here. Thank you so much, Dani, for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is obviously a very heavy subject.
Why is it a heavy subject? Is it because of the mortality?
Yes, of course, that one. And then also dividing your asset to your children when you are already gone.
Yes.
It's always difficult because there is potential conflict there.
Yes.
Between among the children.
Oh yes, I've seen that.
Siblings, yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
And that can be pretty ugly, right?
Oh yes.
Very ugly.
Yes.
Oh yes. So when we talk about inheritance, or how do you say it? Estate planning?
Estate planning.
Okay.
Yes.
Estate planning.
What
Estate
is that? Estate planning. Explain.
That is how we plan how our asset will be divided into our survivor later after we're gone. So whether it's children or people that depend on us, depend on our asset, depend on our income after we're gone.
What are the assets that people usually inherit?
In Indonesia, here, it is very common to leave property.
Property, okay.
And then gold.
Gold.
And the trend that is increasing now is people buying insurance.
Yes, of course.
Yes. And then also,
life insurance.
if you have any other form of assets, stocks, it can be
Really?
yes, it can be passed down to your children.
Interesting. And cash also.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Okay.
But that is cash is the one maybe after your by the time our death, cash is maybe the first thing that will just up very soon because you need money to finance the funeral and everything.
Correct.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
That's what I did when my dad passed away. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, there are some, rules and regulation. There's religions. There's the state's regulations, like where it should be passed down. But again, that's hard to discuss because, like in Batak, we have like our own way to divide the estate, and at the same time, like every other culture or religion, and all that kind of stuff. Like, but this is actually came from my dad, which I still cannot answer it until today. Today, everything's digital. My stock is digital. My banking account is digital. The gold is actually digital nowadays.
Yes.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Back
in the days, you can see the paper or like where the stock is, or like where the gold at, and like it's in the safe deposit. You know where the item is. Now, how can one, if I like all my stocks, like how can even my wife's not really haven't really checked like where the stock's at and all that kind of stuff. So like how can we pass it down to our kids, like all this digital? Should I call it digital assets? That sounds kind of funny. Like that's not what it is.
The digital thing is only the way we acquired that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And everything is already scriptless. Everything is already, what is it? Even for gold, actually the gold is there, but we are not the one keeping it. The one keeping it is the platform that provided the tools to buy that one, right?
Correct.
So it really become complicated if we don't prepare it in advance because nobody will know what is our password and everything.
Correct.
So
you need to be transparent to your family.
Yes. Actually, that is the very first thing that you need to do with your spouse, with our partner, that we have to be very open about financials. So before talking about inheritance and estate planning, we have to be able to tell everything about
Correct.
our finances with our couple, because so many people, they tend to keep their money with themselves and don't even share the password with their spouses.
Those are my parents, by the way, and I'm sure it's not unique. I'm sure a lot of people are experiencing
So many
that.
people still think that talking about money is more taboo
Yeah,
compared to talking about sex.
it's so strange, right?
Yes.
Hey.
I honestly, it's quite hard. Like every time I'm talking about financial, there's
Yeah.
always that friction. Like no matter what,
That's true, Indra.
I don't know.
Actually, before I got married, I asked my wife to sign prenup agreement, and
Right,
she
right.
didn't agree at that time. But then the discussion was that I entered the marriage with debt, with some kind of debt.
Yeah,
So
and protecting
to,
you.
yes, to protect my wife at that time, I want to enter a prenup agreement.
Yeah,
But she didn't agree.
Right.
But then, not so many people can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not so many people can say that, okay, I have this much of debt before our marriage.
Yes.
If we can already do that,
Yeah.
so that we can share everything, we can share even our password to our trading account,
Yeah.
to our investment account. At the very least, we have to list down whatever asset that we have and where do we buy it.
Yeah.
What I'm doing, I already do that, and I already have the how many account of securities, and then what asset that I buy there, and I share it at least once a year with my wife when I do the
Updates.
recap, and yeah.
Okay,
Maybe.
that's the basic thing that we need to do. Okay, homework for me.
Yes.
My husband
You
knows
should
my
do that.
passwords actually and knows my list of assets. I need to know his now.
Yes.
He's not as organized, but anyways. Yeah. And then what else? Okay, so we need to be transparent first with our finances,
Yes.
with our spouses.
Yes.
And then what? Do we need to prepare what is called wasiat? What is wasiat?
Will.
Will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Will and living trust that you need to set it up while we as parents or as couples still very healthy. So what we want to do with the asset that we are accumulating. So in case of sudden pasuan and
Yes.
those kind of things,
Which we will never, we
Yeah.
don't know.
yeah, what will happen if one of us surviving one another? So
Yes.
what can we do? What should we do?
Yes.
And what happened with the asset? How do we pass the asset down to our children?
Yeah.
So that is very important. Not only during the when our children is already 18 and can manage the asset them by themselves, but we also have to think that, okay, if both of us cannot see our children until they grown up, so who will manage the asset? How they should manage it?
Yeah.
That is also important.
You need to choose someone that you trust
Yes.
to administer it.
Yes.
You need to appoint someone. So that can be a family member or it can be someone outside your
Yes.
family that you trust.
Yes.
Okay.
Me and my wife, we still haven't got it done yet, but we already discussed who will be the one that we can
The
trust,
point.
because not only the asset, taking care of the children is also a burden, right?
Correct.
For someone that is not
It's not
their
their
parent.
children,
Yes.
Correct. Correct.
So-
And what about, yes, go on.
Okay. Already.
Okay, already gone. Sorry.
Sorry.
So, and I also would like to raise couples who don't have children. Is it important to think about this?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Because even if for the couple that decide that they don't want to have children,
Child-free,
yes, child-free, the asset is still there.
Yes.
Of course, they are accumulating asset during the lifetime, right?
Yes.
And then what will happen with the assets? Because if you don't prepare that, your extended family will, I don't want to call it war.
Yeah.
But they will
Fight over it.
Yes, fight over it, and then they will claim that they have the more right to claim the assets. So
Right.
to avoid that, you have to decide what do you want to do with the asset. Whether you want to give it to your extended family, or maybe you want to give it to the world,
Yes.
setting up charity and philanthropic action for that asset.
Okay, and that has to be written on a will.
Yes, on a will in front that you should make in front of notary.
Notary.
Now this is we're talking about asset management right now.
Yes.
So let me ask you a quick one first. What sort of investment or not investment? Let's not call it investment. Asset that would you recommend to put on the will? Of course, stocks gotta be there.
Yes.
Because you're prominent on stocks.
Every asset and every debt that you have.
Oh, every asset and every debt you have.
Yes.
Now here's my questions. Like, so I only have one daughter at the moment, but again, there are parents that have like 2 or 3 kids, and then they want to divide it in a way equally, whatever religions or whatever tradition that you have. But we want to give sort of equal, but at the same time, here's what's gonna happen. One kid I'm gonna give the house, one kid I'm gonna give the stocks, and one kid I'm gonna give whatever it is. But again, the value gonna be different. Because the house
true.
gonna after 10, 15, 20 years gonna be the value that for this stock and that one is gonna. So how can I manage this? Like,
how do you regulate it, right? I mean, can you just divide it by 3? Like if you have 3 children,
so everything
future,
just equally.
like house by 3, stocks 3. No?
Yeah,
Is that possible?
That is possible. Actually, the way you divide the asset to your children will depend on how you and your spouse see.
Which child you like the most?
Yes.
Andrea,
No,
I know that's true, but you don't have to say it out loud.
I mean, the value that the both spouses believe, and then what kind of what is it? The law that they want to follow. You have to discuss it in advance, and so the division will be okay for the properties goes to this, and then stock goes to this kid. At least after both of you decide to use that kind of way, you have to involve the children since the very beginning.
How young?
When they already.
I don't think a 5-year-old would understand.
No,
like,
of course not.
Mama, and they're gonna start crying because it's talking about
at least
death.
starting from the high school, if you live long enough, from high school you can discuss it with your kid that okay, after we both pass away, you will get this, you will get this, and we will put it into will that is made in front of notary, and we hope that you will not have fight over it.
Disputes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, one of the challenges, like well, with stock, like the price is decided on the market, but at the same time, like when we're talking about like house, like let's say the house is worth like 1 billion, and then like you want to divide it by 3. Sometimes you have to sell it quickly. This is one of the assets that's hard to let go. So you might have to lower the price. Again, you have to have an agreement, your brother and sister.
Yes.
Correct.
Which is that's.
Instead of doing that, it will be easier to property goes to you and stocks goes to you.
This is a challenge.
Yeah.
So again, like you mentioned earlier, it's a hard topic to discuss.
It is. And also, I was interested in what you raised actually about the regulations, because the religious regulation and the civil regulation is different. So which one is actually more powerful?
I cannot say that because that will depend on the couple, on the spouses that want to inherit that asset.
So basically,
which one that you want to use?
Oh, so
because some people they have a stronger belief to their religion.
Correct.
But, some maybe they want to use the customary law, Japanese and then Batakese and or maybe Chinese. Even if I'm Muslim and I'm a Japanese law will be different from Islamic law for the inheritance.
So that will be the sort of like the guide for us to create our will.
Yes.
Okay.
But then you just can discuss with your spouse that okay, this is how we do the inheritance. This is how we divide the asset. Not following any law, but this is what we believe that will be the most equal way to do.
So the will becomes the most powerful.
Yes.
Okay, got it. The will.
Now I have a question about tax, because my parents actually hand off some of their asset to us. So, but what happened was when it was down to my nephew, which is this eldest grandchild, he got taxed about 2 point something percent on that one.
Yes.
While it went down to me, it was, I think, we pay almost 0% on tax.
Because you're the son.
Yes. Like, how does the tax work on inheritance?
Since I'm not an expert in tax, this will be the easiest question for me. So consult your tax advisor
Okay.
for that.
Yeah.
But then instead of make the asset as inheritance, you can also make it as a gift, hibah.
Oh.
Yes.
So if it's hibah, it's not
it will-
taxed.
Yeah, non-taxable.
Okay.
As long as
does it work for stock also?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
As long as you make it in front of the notary, so it will be notary deed for gifting that asset to your children.
But isn't the status immediately just hibah when
Yes.
somebody dies and?
Oh no! If dies and nothing was done before, then it will be inheritance.
Oh, it's different.
Yes.
Hibah, what
Okay.
would hibah be in Indonesia? A
In-
gift.
in-
Gift.
Yeah, gift.
Oh, so
And it
inheritance
sounds like,
is
yeah.
taxed.
Yeah.
But hibah is not taxed.
As far as I know. But again, consult your tax advisor.
Consult.
Because tax is very sensitive subject, right? So I cannot advise on that.
You know,
Okay.
some people might have like, trillion of rupiahs and like,
Yes.
that point
Yeah.
something percent, it's actually...
Massive.
They will definitely find how
Tax
how
you.
to do that the most tax efficient way.
Oh, you
like
mean a
that.
tax
Yeah,
consultant?
tax efficient. Yes, yes.
Right.
There is tax planning as well, not to deceiving the tax office, but they do the tax planning so that they can do the asset transfer the most tax efficient way. Still legal.
Still legal.
Yes.
You should talk to my tax guy about that.
Yes. Have to. You have to.
Alrighty. Well, do you have any more questions, Indra?
A lot, but it's just too heavy for this morning right now. All right, should we go for a break
Yeah, I think so.
now?
So plan, people. The first thing you do, if I may summarize what you said, Dani, was that you have to be, the basic thing that you have to do is you have to be transparent to your spouses on your assets. Basically, how many what kind of assets you have, password, if necessary, being shared between the two of you. And then secondly, do not forget to make your will, because that will be the strongest document to distribute your assets when we've all gone from this world. It's okay, we can talk about it. And that's it, right?
Yes.
I mean, have I missed anything?
Yes. Yes.
No?
Consult
Consult
with the
with
tax.
tax.
Consult with your tax guy
Advisor,
or
yes.
woman.
You know, one of the hardest assignment from Mas Mama today is talking about financial, and like before making the wills, I need like a psychiatrist or something like to sit down with us and you're like, all right, you need to sit there because like we're gonna discuss something hard right now. All right, we're set.
Thank you, Dani.
Thank you
so much. We're set for another commercial break. When we return, we'll bring you the world headlines. Stay here.